We live in a very energy-intensive society now. Canada uses perhaps 2.5 million barrels of oil per day. In 30 years or so, all of that will be used up and gone. What is your vision for what do we do now so that we can continue living a good life 30 years from now?
Who is that question addressed to?
I'll address that to Mr. Mackling.
Thank you.
We have evolved into a society that is dependent on fossil fuels, and I think every scientist has recognized that there is an end to fossil fuel in the industry. We have to be changing to green energy. And with this, I fully subscribe, and our party does, with most of the major tenets of the Green Party. We have seen in Manitoba some development of wind power, and there should be more development of geothermal power. It is within our capacity to convert from fossil fuels to renewable fuels. We can develop an effective hydroelectric grid that supplies electricity across Canada rather than sending it to the United States. We owe it to the generations to come to deal with the crisis that is developing in respect to the overuse of fossil fuels and the development of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. We are destroying this planet, and we have to do something about it. We should, instead of investing billions of dollars in new fighter aircraft, we should be investing in solar panels and wind turbines and renewable energy.
The Green Party embraces the challenge set by Al Gore and James Hansen to replace all power generation from fossil fuels within a decade, beginning with a rapid phase-out of coal. A successful efficiency and building retrofit program coupled with peak load reductions could reduce the required capacity by 25%. Population increase could raise the capacity requirements again, as will the electrification of transport. We believe all carbon-based fuels will be subject to rising carbon taxes and industrial cap and trade. Federal approvals for new oil or coal-fired power generation will not be granted. Permits to convert oil or coal-fired plants to natural gas will be allowed in the short term until renewable energy capacity increases to replace them. Green Party MPs will establish the design and management principles of a Trans-Canada nationally integrated electrical power grid capable of efficiently transporting high electrical loads and accommodating many diverse sources of renewable electrical energy. Canada is such a huge country. Our trains could play a much more crucial role in helping us. Our train system has been allowed to erode to just an unconscionable state. So we would really support looking at not only wind and solar, as Mr. Macklin has said, but a renewed approach to transportation and our trains in this country. Thank you.
We do have a Liberal plan online, and I've got some summaries at the back table under Terry Hayward, so I encourage you to take a look at that. The Liberal Party, when they went across this country over the last 2 years, talking to people of all persuasions, backgrounds, open door policy, any political stripe, come in and tell us what is affecting you as a Canadian. What would you like to see for your government? One thing we heard of, alternate energy. I agree. We need to work with the sun more. We need to work with our wind, the geothermal, tidal powers. We've got some great tides in this country that could relieve some of the strain that we have. We need to look at increased energy efficiencies in our homes. That's why we're proposing a $13,500 tax credit for homeowners to help them on their way to make their homes better. This investment will also help new industries spring up and do further development of our sun power and our wind power and our tidal powers and such. We need to invest more in research and innovation. This is what our Liberal Party stands for. We also are very interested in environmental stewardship. That's on the farm, in the home, and in our cities. Thank you.
amazing what they've said. If you want to see an impressive site, you need to go to St. Joseph, Manitoba. That's also part of the Provincial riding, and see the wind turbines that have been erected there. It's absolutely massive and most amazing to observe. We have to obviously develop alternate sources of energy, which has already been mentioned, but just as a personal note, not my party position, but my own personal position would be, we'd like to see the hydroelectric power line on the east side of Lake Winnipeg. I don't know about you, but that's something that and obviously we need to look at alternative sources of transportation as well that are more energy efficient. Thank you.
Thank you. That is indeed something I want to echo. It's something I've been very strong on, the east side power line. I still don't understand why our provincial government has chosen to expend the amount of money it does by taking it through the west. The environmental damage, the extra environmental damage that will cause simply is not justified. Our government has a strong record in our 5 or 6 short years in power of supporting clean energy projects in every region and province of Canada. That's through grants, loans, and tax credits, including the St. Joseph one that was made possible by a huge tax credit, the way our tax system is set up. The criteria that we attempt to follow as a federal government, our responsibility, of course, falls within federal jurisdiction, is that it must have national or regional importance, it must have economic or financial merit, it must significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and the re-elected Conservative government will provide support on the basis of those criteria for any clean energy infrastructure project, and it will be based on the principles of respect and the equitable treatment for all regions of the country. Different regions have different energy needs and different sources, and we have to recognize that difference.
I'd like to see more investment in innovations for alternative sources of clean energy, and also offer incentives for switching to electric cars as we move further along for the introduction of electric cars. GM is coming up with them. And as we increase our use of electric cars, then there will be increased amounts of our electricity. So we should make sure that we invest in diverse sources of energies, clean energy sources. And of course, because, for example, if there's a heat wave, there will be, the wind turbine will be useful during the time. And there will be a very high demand, especially that the seniors and those with health problems would need their AC when there's a heat wave. So it's good to make sure that we invest and look ahead in time and make sure we have enough energy supplies. Thank you.